YouTube, how are you? This is Jazzy. I'm back, or Jasmine. It's kind of weird. I don't never call myself Jazzy, but people call me Jazzy, so whatever. Sorry if you see me hold my mouth because I really have a really bad toothache. But I know it's been a really long time. Actually, I had videos recorded that I was going to post, but with everything going on, it just didn't feel right. I felt like, I don't know, I felt like I didn't want to ignore it. Well, this situation is just very hard. I felt like I didn't want to look like as if I'm ignoring it because I'm very passionate about what's going on right now. I'm sorry if you hear my air because I am in the car and it is extremely hot outside. It looks like it's 91 degrees, and I film in my car a lot, so I'm in my car. But I want to come over here and talk a little bit about it. Because I don't want to just overlook it like it's not happening or that I don't care about it, because that is the complete opposite. I'm very, very passionate about what's going on, and gosh, my tooth hurts so bad. Yeah, I just took some medicine for my tooth, so I'm like waiting for it to kick in. But I'm so ready to start filming again. So if you see there is a couple of changes to the channel, that is because, like, my husband, he works 2 jobs now, and it's so hard to film. Like, it really is. And there's so many things that I want to do, so many different directions I want to take the channel, so that's going to be changing. But besides that, as far as what's going on, like I said, I'm very passionate about it. I'm very passionate about almost every single, well, not almost every case that I've learned about. And also I've dealt with, like, people treating me different because of the color of my skin. One time I did get hired at IHOP one time. Like, I wanted to know, to be a waitress. And I know it's because of that. It's because, people say they make so much money. And even though the pay rate is so low, but they get like all this money for like wages and stuff like that. And I was just trying to find me something that I could just get, I guess, because I always try to find like something like on the side, a little part-time job. But where I was working at was predominantly white. And it's actually one of our suburban areas out here in Johnson County, in Kansas. And I remember it was a whole bunch of old people that comes because I was working like in the morning time. So a lot of older people is what goes in the morning time. And I recall I was taking out their food, and they told me they wanted they asked me to call my manager. That's what it was. They asked me to call my manager, and my manager came over there, and they said they didn't want me serving their food because I was black. I'm trying to remember exactly how I felt. Like, I can remember, I could feel it, like my hair starting to like stand up on my body right now. But at the same time, I felt like it made me feel bad, but at the same time, it didn't put me like in a depressing state, because my mom has taught me to love my blackest beauty and all that. And people who don't see that, I mean, that's their problem. But I did end up leaving the job, and I never came back. I don't know, like, it's just terrible how people be so bold to say things. That's absolutely crazy. And then there's another story I have. I have a lot of stories, so I'm not going to go through this. But what people acting like as if, oh, that just happened to some people. No, it happens. Almost every person I know that are of color had some type of incident like that. So it's not just like, oh, it's just one of those things all the time. No, it happens all the time. And I remember one time with the police, per se, me and my husband, we were working like the little side job that I told you to do before with the Star, and we were in I don't want to say, like, there's a lot of prejudice in this area, and it is up north. And we were on the highway, and we get off the highway. as soon as we get off the highway, like when you come to the light, you make a left and there's a Quick Trip right there. And so we turn into Quick Trip. But when we were getting off the highway, getting ready to make a left, a police was across from us, and he saw us, like we looked dead at each other. And so we turned or whatever to go into Quick Trip. Now we just got off the highway. We just came from where we live, which is in Kansas City, Kansas. And he does a U-turn and come right behind us. And I'm like, okay, like what is that about? So we go into Quick Trip. Now you guys, I don't really know how to explain the way this Quick Trip is, and if you even have Quick Trip around you. But it was like the normal gas station where the store is and all the pumps, but then like up, like around the side, they have where like the highway trucks get their gas. So it was like, it's like up. I don't know even how to explain it. Like you can, when you go up there and park, you can see down what's going on in the gas station. Like you can see who's going in and out. You can see who's parking. You can see who's getting gas. You can like, it's like overseeing it. And so they go up there and park, and I thought that was strange because they can't get gas up there. It's only up there for the highway trucks. And so we go in. I don't even think we got gas. We pulled up to the actual service station because every single time we would go do our route, we would always stop to get like snacks or like some coffee or some energy drinks. Like now, like I said, he does 2 jobs, so he have like energy drinks that's sitting here that we just had last night. Like we would always stop. We still do that now and go get like energy drinks and something like that. And they just sat there. So we go inside, and I'm like, okay, I said, Aaron, they're gonna mess with us. They're gonna mess with us. They're gonna mess with us. And he was like, no, they're not. We just got over here. Like, we didn't even do anything. I'm like, they're going to mess with us. Like, I just felt it in my spirit. And so we get in the gas station. We get our items or whatever, and we come back out, and we get in the car. And they're still sitting there. And I'm like, they're going to get us. And so we back out, and, we pull off, get ready to go out to the street because we were going, like, the way it is up north, like, all the cities are, like, so close to each other. Like, you got Claycomo, Pleasant Valley, Liberty, like it's just boom, 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 boom. So in the gas station where we were at, Pleasant Valley and Claycomo police can be over there and patrol or pull over people and stuff like that. They can all do that. So what happens? So we get ready to leave, and the next thing you know, the police come out from up there where they were. And so they come down as we driving through. They come down towards the gas station normal gas station where the car is, and then they start trailing us. And so once we get up there to make a turn, we get ready to make a right. We make a right. They make a right. And so we get on this little side street that's next to the highway, and they go on the side street. And so they just started following us. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And this is right around the time, I want to say, sorry y'all, my hands are ashy. Keep your hands clean. This was right around the time. Some story just happened. I can't remember what it was. I really want to say it was Mike Brown. And so we're driving, and they're following us, and we're just driving along the way that we have a route that tell us to drive, and they're following us. And I'm like, Aaron, I'm like so nervous. I'm just sitting there like, oh my gosh. I'm like, babe. I'm like, no. Make sure you turn right. Like, I'm like freaking out, you guys. I'm like, oh, babe, did you just swerve? I'm like, oh my gosh, go. No. The speed limit say 40. You went 41. Like, I'm freaking out, you guys. And so he's like, calm down. You're making me nervous. And so we're driving. Have nothing to worry about. We're doing our job. And they follow us for so many miles, and I guess technically they can follow you for so many miles, and then like they gotta stop following you or something. I don't know. Like, I've heard that. I don't know how true that is. I'm not sure. And so they finally turn into this like dark business. The lights are out. There's no street lights. It's like completely dark. So they finally turn off in there. I'm like, whew, they left us alone. Like, we were the only cars on the road. Usually when we do routes, we are like 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. That's not a lot of traffic. So it was just us and the cops. So they was literally following us. And so we go down. They turn off. We keep going down the street. Next thing you know, there's a cop pulled over on the side that was already sitting there. And then they come out and follow us. Like, they call them like, hey, they're coming around the corner. Continue. Like obviously they called them. You know what I mean? Like, it's so ridiculous. It was so obvious. Like, soon as we're driving and we ride past, and I was like, oh, there goes another cop. I said, I bet you they're gonna come. And out they come and follow us. So we go in, And we were supposed to be delivering like a trailer park or something like that. And so we go in and we, start to deliver. We, start driving around, delivering our stuff or whatever. And we go around the trailer park. We go around, you know how trailer parks is. You go up and down these streets. So when we get ready to come out and exit the trailer park, the cop is there. And he drives past us, but then he turns around and come right behind us, and he pulls us over. What do we do? I was like, yes, officer. And he was like, I'm sorry, but I pulled you over because we got a call that there was a strange car driving in the neighborhood. I said, what neighborhood? He's like, the neighborhood, the this area right here. We got a call that a strange car was driving in the neighborhood. I'm sitting there like, I'm trying to keep my composure because you're not going to play with my top. I know you was following us before we even got in here. Like, what do you mean? Somebody called you and told you there was a strange car in the neighborhood. We just got in this doggone neighborhood. We were driving on a main street. You and your partner or your fellow officer was following us way before we even got in this neighborhood. So you finally got a excuse of following us, point blank period. And so he's like, can I just ask, what are you doing? I'm sorry, you guys, I'm trying to get to my computer. And I'm like, we're working. And they're like, oh, okay, you're working for the Star? Yeah. I'm like, okay. So they let us go, but I was recording. I don't care. I think that kind of like makes the cops be hostile or whatever, but I really don't care. Like, I'm not gonna not going to record, afraid of making you hostile. Like, you need to learn not to be a hothead, first of all. So this cop was cool, and like I said, I don't think all cops are terrible. I mean, I know like right off the back, like 5 cops right now, 5 cops that I know personally, and to my understanding, they're not hot-headed like that. They don't abuse their power, to my understanding. And so I'm like, cool, okay, great, thank you. I mean, I was still upset because of the fact that we were followed for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And it was just a phony reason to pull us over. Like, it was so stupid. So anyway, that happened, and then we just kept, going about our day. I don't think they bothered us before. I mean, after that, because I think they kind of like recognized our car. But another time, doing this doggone route, we had a lot of problems with police during the route. So I'm nervous now because of that. And so we were in another predominantly white neighborhood, and a cop decided to follow us. Again, we were out like Piper area, if you're from Kansas City, Kansas, and they're like really, really nice homes. And so soon as we get in there, like Walmart is across the street. The cop was sitting at Walmart at the stop sign. We drive down the street. We turn into the subdivision. Here come the cop car. I said, Aaron, this is our first night. I said, in this area, I said, Aaron, there's a cop. So he's driving, and this is our first night. So we don't know the houses. Like, we don't know the addresses. So we have like this flashlight. Let me show you. So we have a flashlight like this. And so we shine the flashlight, I don't know if you can tell that it's on. And we're like rolling down the window, and we're like looking for we're driving around slowly, trying to find the address. We're trying to turn it off. Okay, it's got like 10 settings. We're driving around slowly trying to find an address. We're like, okay, and they have it like where you can count them, like 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the house. Like, is that the address? Is that the address? This is our first night. So they see us throwing something out the window, and obviously it's a newspaper. And like we're throwing it, and we're driving around, and we're throwing it, like we're finding houses, and we're throwing the paper. They see us throwing the paper. Like, they're sitting there watching us throw the paper. They followed us for like 10 minutes all through. We just kept doing our route. And they never pulled us over, but it was just so aggravating. Like, why? For what though? And so then, whatever. Another time, like, my husband had got shot at. We were doing the route before. He had got shot at. And he called the police. And he actually, that story, like, hopefully he come on here and do the story time with us. That story was crazy. So anyway, we ended up getting him home safely, and our car was like shot, so he parked it where we picked him up from. And so my mom was like, call the police and report this. You need to report this. And I was like, yeah, babe, report it. And so we called the cops like, hey, you know, I was shot at, blase, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bam. Now, you guys, my husband is not a thug. He's not a thug of any imagination. And I'm not just saying that because he's black. I'm just saying thugs can be any color. But he's not a street. He's like not in the streets. He's not a gangbanger. He don't be like selling drugs. He don't do nothing that a black man stereotype is. That's just not who he is. You know what I mean? He always worked legal jobs and he always come home. He's at home. He's a family man. And so what the cop do? He called the cops and told them. The cops came here to the house where we were and picked him up to take him to wherever he was going. They came there and took him to wherever he was going. So wherever the incident happened, so he could tell them what happened. So he gets in the car with them. He goes and tell them, thinking, you know, they're here to protect me. You know, we didn't think bad of ill will of the cops. We didn't think that. That's just not the type of people we are. And so he takes them there, and instead of listening to what he has to say, it's, what were you doing out here? Or why were you doing that? Are you sure you're not a part of a gang? Do you do drugs? Do you sell drugs? Can I search your car for drugs? Do you have drugs in the car? Do you have a gun? Are you a gangbanger? Are you this? Are you that? Like, what the heck? Like, are you kidding me? Why are you assuming that he does drugs? Why are you assuming that he's a gangbanger? Why are you assuming that he does all these things that he does not do? First of all, this man is traumatized because somebody tried to end his life. And the only reason why somebody shot at him is no, it's not because somebody was retaliating. It was somebody was getting ready to commit a crime. And he just happened to be there. And what they're going to do, they're going to shoot a witness. And that's what they were trying to do. He ended up coming around the corner while they was about to go shoot somebody at their house because it was already a shooting there a couple of nights before. And that's where he delivered at. And since he was there and they saw him, they shot at him because he was doing his job. And they wanted to kill any witness. It was because the car, he saw what type of car it was. He saw the person. Like, they looked each other in the eyes. He said when he pulled up, the guy looked at him dead in his eyes. So obviously Aaron saw his face. And so he tried to shoot Aaron. So it's like, why are you assuming that he's a gangbanger? Why are you assuming that he has drugs? And he started questioning my husband, drilling him. And he was the victim. Like, that alone, and it's to the point to where we saw other things with doing delivery where, like, somebody's car was wide open or that's obviously somebody broke in their car. And I'm like, I'm not calling the cops. Me and Aaron was like, we're not calling them because it's going to turn around on us. I said, they're going to think we did it. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, if I seen a dead body, I will not call the cops. I'm sorry. I will wait for the next person to call the cops because they're going to think I killed them. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, I will not call them. And so that's my stories. It's other stories that just I don't have time to tell. That just really, really, really ticked me off. And this happened a couple years ago. So when Aaron, he had a baby when he was 16 years old. And we got married when he was 18. And the mother was like so upset with him that, you know, we got married and he had another baby. And so she put him on child support. At first, he didn't even know he was on child support. All his mail was going to his dad's house. Everything he was going, because that's where he lived when he had the baby. That's the only address she had. And so he had missed court and all kind of stuff was going on. Like, it was just terrible. And so there was a warrant for him because of that. Even though at this time he had been paying child support because he knew he was on child support, but he didn't know it was a warrant for him. And so he had been paying child support. This incident happened like in 2015 maybe, and his son was born in 2007. So he had been paying child support, and the cop that took him over there, he was like, well, let me search you. So he started looking up my husband's name. He ran my husband's name. He was like, oh, there's a warrant for your arrest back in 2009 or something like that. And so he arrested my husband, took him to jail. And yeah, after my husband got shot at for no apparent reason, even though I didn't even know why the warrant was still even there. It's ridiculous. And so when I called the courthouse that had the warrant for him, because I act as my husband's lawyer, I I had called and I talked to the judge secretary, and I'm like, okay, well, there's a warrant on him. I'm like, he's been paying child support. He has a job. So if you want to keep him in jail, you're not going to get no child support because he can't go to work. And so they end up letting him out the very next. He wasn't even in there 24 hours. He was in there for like maybe 12 hours, and they let him out because the warrant was stupid. He had been paying child support. It was so old, it's ridiculous. And the fact that they didn't even try to give him justice or try to even investigate the situation. They were busy investigating him for what? I don't know. So yeah, you guys, that's my experience with my personal experience with law enforcement. I don't know if I ever had. I mean, I've got pulled over for like not using a signal, and the cop wasn't rude. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna let you go with a warning. Like, I've had that before, and like I said, I know not all of them are corrupt. I understand it. Like I said, I know 5 that I think are very good darn police officers. And I believe that we need police officers, to protect us. I mean, let's be honest, somebody breaking your house, you're going to call the cops. So you can't just be like, oh, forget the police. Like, no, there are some that are still there to protect you. So I understand that. But with this particular situation, all that rambling I just did for like the last 20 minutes, I was just explaining my situation. But like I said, I'm very passionate about this. I do not agree what happened to George Floyd. And as far as protest, I believe protest is amazing. As far as looting, like, I don't agree with it. Like, I wouldn't loot. But at the same time, I understand that some people just have frustrations that you just can't even control. I mean, I've learned so much of our history as far as this country, and personally, African American history, that it boils my blood thinking about what happened. Like, I've learned about the whole Tuskegee Project. I learned the whole what happened in Oklahoma. I learned all of that. I've learned so many different things. I watched so many different documentaries that just really, 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 really bothers me that we're still going through this. And so when people just writing, like, they just, like I said, I don't believe that's the way to go. That's not what I would do. I don't agree with it. I understand it, but I do not agree with it. I don't think that it's cause for. When I see peaceful protests, it's a beautiful thing to me. Beautiful. I feel like that speaks louder than rioting. I think that speaks louder than violence. I don't think that's necessary. But at the same time, like, people are angry. I'm sorry. If it was my brother or my husband, I'm not going to tell you. Like, I commend George Floyd's family for being very peaceful and for calling for peace. I commend that. But at the same time, like, I don't know how I would act if it was my loved one, if it was my husband or my son. Like, I don't want somebody's head. I'm just being honest. So, and then for you to tell me to calm down is going to make me even more mad. But at the same time, like I said, I do believe that the peaceful protest is more effective than all the chaos. I absolutely do. When I see peaceful protests, I see power. And that's just what it is. When everyone is united and going, one accord, I find that to be very powerful. Now, I do know that there are some people that are down there that are claiming to protest, that are there to cause chaos. And, you guys, it's always some bad that's going to come with the good. That's just what it is. I mean, I pray that they weed out the bad seeds and continue to, peacefully protest. And I ultimately know that only God, this world needs God. This world needs Jesus. That's what it is. And I pray that message gets spread across the world, that we all need Jesus. This world needs Jesus. This world is hurting. This world is broken. I mean, it's just, I don't know, like, only God, I believe only God can cause change. Only God could cause change. But with that being said, I see so many Christians, and I'm sorry, that are just like, oh, only God can change it. I'm done. Like, they're washing hands of it. I don't agree with that. You know what I mean? Like, I know that as Christians, like myself, we are not of this world, but we live in this world. And I feel like the problems that go in this world should be something that we turn our attentions to, not to be just so religious and act as if this is not happening or it's not affecting you. It affects me, so it affects everyone. You know what I mean? Like, the people that just ignore it, I have a huge problem with. And it's not right. It's absolutely not right, because it don't affect you personally. You know what I mean? Like, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. I do not agree with anyone who has that mindset. I feel like you are a part of the problem, point blank, period. And I pray for justice. You know, they're calling for a huge protest, I just heard on TV today, for August 28th in Washington, D.C. And I guess that's when the trial starts, I believe. And me and my mom and my kids, we're thinking about going, and I'm super excited about it. My cousin too. I think we're going to drive up there and go. And I think that is so exciting, like, for real. Like, I'm really, 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 really excited about doing that. So that's something we're thinking about doing. It's way in August 28th, so we definitely got time to plan for that. So hopefully we get to go, because I would love to be a part of history. I would love for my children to be a part of history, that they could tell their kids, you know, later down the years, you know, and their kids, you know, this is what mommy was, or grandma or whatever was a part of. And I just think that is just so awesome. And I would love to go be a part of that. So that's something that we're looking forward to. So yeah, you guys. And another thing with us doing the route now, so we have a route now, and that's what when I say we do extra, something a little extra. And my mom is so amazing, because I'm like terrified of I ain't say terrified of police, but I'm terrified of getting pulled over by the police now, because we get like strange looks all the time. And so my mom bought us a light that goes on top of the car, like it's a magnet, and we could put like star on there. And I'm so excited, so they can know who we are, because that's one thing that irritates me with the star, that there's no signs to say that we're the star. Because like, you see Uber and you see a Uber sign on your car, and you see like Lyft and you see a Lyft sign, Pizza Hut got a sign. Like, why can't we have a sign so that we won't get, you know, messed with the police? What is going on with this computer? It just keeps going off. I don't know. But I'm about to wrap this video up, you guys. Like I said, there's going to be changes to the channel. You will see very soon. It may already be there now. I'm actually trying to find a name for the channel, because I don't know, like, because I want to do more like personal things. So I'm really trying to find something to make it personal. I guess what I'm saying is, I really want to make the channel more personal to myself, so that I can just do different videos that I would like to do. So if you have any channel names, if the name has not changed, leave it down in the comment section down below. And yeah, I want to thank you again for watching this video. Hopefully I get to upload a lot more now. And yeah, because even my boys, they're really just interested in the game. They don't have time. They really don't, not super interested. Only me and Ani is really interested for real in YouTube. So yeah. And they really my boys are just into the game. And I don't ever want to force my kids to do something that they don't want to do. So yeah, that's something that you'll see probably me and Ani. So yeah, I do want to again thank you again for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and turn on your post notifications. That way you get notified when we upload a new video. I do want to thank you again for watching this video, and we'll see you next time. Bye.